and regardless of what it is or who it is or what it does, would be funded. It's just saying the intent is that we would provide tax rebates for most projects that fall under these parameters, increasing the tax valuation of the property. Obviously you hope for more increased workforce, but not every project we've had is increased workforce or job opportunities, I guess. So I think that, you figure $4,000, it takes a pretty decent sized expansion to cover the $4,000 in legal fees. So what I've seen in the past is that it has to be almost over 250 before most people even start to look at it.
And I guess the best answer to that, I think, is it has to make sense for the business, right? So
Right.
if they do their expansions and their increased valuation, and I'm just making numbers, goes up by a couple $100 every 6 months, that just doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense for the reporting, it doesn't make sense for the legal fees, it just doesn't work.
Right.
That you can absorb that through the natural course of business. I think where it's interesting is our spec buildings. So when we lease them, they go on the tax rolls and it's used for manufacturing. And so you've got some very standard office work and then the back is all manufacturing. So it's just a steel structure. And then someone comes in and puts more office in, which we know costs more per square foot, and maybe adds a little bit more fixtures, and then suddenly it goes up significantly because they essentially took a shell and turned it into an actual business. And that's where it gets a little interesting. So that is a good example, and full disclosure, it's a council member, but I'm not sure that it has anything to do with who, but to do with the fact that they took a steel structure, which is really what it was, and significantly improved the inside.
Yeah.
So if we've got to resell that, so, we look at what happens if, right? So if we've got to resell that in 10 years, what's the value of that building and what does my marketability look like? So I think, taking that structure, we look at it with the commercial spec building. So we've got another spec building, and I don't know, unless the board changes their mind, I would assume we continue down that path. We take this building, we lease it, and then we eventually sell it. And if you change the use a little bit, you could increase the taxes. So the smallest rebate that we've done since I've been here was about $11,000 total, and they paid $4,000 for the taxes. So probably not one that I think they would do again if they could make that choice, because it just wasn't enough to absorb it. So yeah, I'm not sure that would be one, but most of them are significant.
Right.
I think the total rebates in the hundreds of thousands. So.
Well, I've always thought we have a great small base industry in Humboldt County. And I've always thought that we should do as much to keep these people in business and expand their business as we spend money to bring people from outside the city too. That's always been my thought.
Absolutely.
And that's why I was just wondering whether there was a dollar limit, or, does it have to be $100,000 expansion? Does it have to be 50,000?
And Aaron and I talked about a percentage. So if you're not increasing your physical footprint, do you have to increase your tax valuation by 5%, 10%, 15%? What does that look like? And when it came down to it, it said, okay, well, they're clearly taking an existing building, right? Because they're not expanding their footprint and they're making it better.
Right.
So why do we want to put a limit on that?
Yep.
If they feel like it's worth it and they've increased their valuation by 3%, then
Yep.
pay the legal fees and they go through it. So I think when you talk about taking an existing structure and making it more valuable, both taxable valuation-wise and marketability, I'm not sure that you would want, just my recommendation, I'm not sure that you'd want to put a limit on the valuation, just because it's valuation. So either way you look at it, it's an increase.
Yeah.
But a couple of examples could be Humboldt Distilled Water Building or Boomgars, those two buildings. So if someone purchased those
examples.
buildings and wanted to renovate it, start a new business or something, then they would be considered for this program.
Yeah.
Great
And-
examples,
yeah.
absolutely.
This would be in lieu, though, if the city helped out on part of a project or something, though, because I know we've done in the past, if they've asked for some help.
Yeah.
City's done something, we don't do both then.
Yeah, and again, I think that you have to look at.
This wouldn't include low finance loans. Because we've done
Revolving loan fund?
the revolving loan fund. Would these
I don't know.
businesses be included in that also, along with the?
Well, here's what I know, you guys make your decision. What we know about revolving loan funds is that at one point in time, in Aaron's case, a little longer than my case, they are USDA funds, that we borrowed from them to lend, so it's a different revenue stream, it's a different source of funding. In Aaron's case, his has been revolved enough that he's got a little bit more discretion than I do. My comment there would be, they were not general funds. They were designated as a revolving loan fund at one point, and money from USDA. So totally your guys' call. It would not and probably should not if HCDA were to put their revolving loan fund money in there, because we still have a loan, we're still making payments on that money that we got from USDA.
Right.
I think you'd still provide tax rebates even if there was a RLF involved, because the last thing you'd wanna do, I think, would be to discourage the use of the revolving loan funds, because it's good to have those funds out working rather than sitting in an account. Like right now, we have $150,000 sitting in the revolving loan fund, that I'd much rather see spent somewhere on Main Street, improving a property somewhere, down on Sumner than, sitting in a bank account earning zero interest.
Well, and also the potential population of, just speaking for the city here, of someone that were to utilize your revolving loan funds, which are designated only for Main Street, and to have it's a pretty small pool, so you're only talking about a few people that would want both of those resources, and the city's funding revolving loan fund isn't huge, I mean, it's great, but
Yeah.
it's not like you're gonna have 10 applicants that come in and are rehabbing Main
Yep.
Street. I think that's a pretty tight population pool.
Okay, I think we only have three loans outstanding right now, so it's just not that many people who there's some hoops involved with it, and, sometimes folks don't wanna disclose all their financials, everything along those lines, so they feel more comfortable just go to a bank rather than working with the city. But on the flip side, it does help get some folks started with that 2% money, so.
Right.
I know in the past, like if the city's been asked to help, maybe with a utility project or something. then-
Oh, yeah, no.
Then
No,
we wouldn't,
definitely.
we just wouldn't do both, is what I'm saying anyway. It would be
Oh,
a-
no.
with something anyway, if we agreed to that,
Yeah.
that would be all we'd be doing anyway,
Yes.
because we're.
Either or, not
Yeah.
both.
Correct, yeah. that's what
Yeah,
I'm saying,
if you're expending dollars for infrastructure
Yeah.
improvement, I would, depending on, I think out at the Humboldt Business Park, I think you'd still do it out there. I mean,
Yeah.
and this is my gut feeling, I mean,
Right.
it's up to you guys what you do, but, out there, I think that whole project was, the infrastructure, I wouldn't roll necessarily
Right.
into it, cause it's redevelopment. But, if you're talking about running a specific line for one business and you're gonna spend 200,000 on running that line, I don't know if you then go back and rebate all the taxes, cause then you're gonna be waiting a very
Yeah.
long time for
Yeah.
a return on that investment, unless it's producing 100 jobs, in which case, fantastic, that's
Yeah.
probably a
Yeah.
smart move.
Right.
So, I mean, that's why I said, it's hard to make a policy, it's more of a discussion than anything else. I'm not looking, it's nothing that we're gonna have, 10 bullet points, and if somebody meets it, then, boom, it's an entitlement. It's more of, more guidance for the conversations that we'll have in the future with other business owners, as far as, do we feel comfortable saying, yes, renovations are eligible, even if they don't increase the footprint, as long as there's increment in that tax value that's created by the project or the renovation, then yes, there is a rebate that could come in from the council and would likely be approved.
So what do you need from us tonight?
I need the discussion, there's no action item on it, there's no motion or anything, just.
I guess if there's dissension there, wants to know.
Yeah, exactly. I don't
If there's-
wanna-
If no one's in favor, but I guess that's what he wants to know.
I don't wanna run into a
I'm all in
bus.
favor, I'm all in favor.
And keep in mind,
I
we
am
keep
too.
the standard process that we have where we present it to you,
Yeah.
and the Humboldt County Development does our due diligence on the cost, the improvements versus what the tax evaluation is, and we calculate all of that for them and share that. So we would do the same that we do any other time with any other company. Here's what we've got, here's the company, here's the capital improvement. We'd lay all that out for you, just like we do every other
Yep.
time, so.
Anybody against it?
No, I don't, no, it wouldn't be anyway, so. But like I say, Aaron just wanted to have a discussion, because
Yeah.
he's gonna tell somebody, then it comes back to him, all of a sudden, three
Yeah.
people say, well, I wasn't gonna agree to
Yeah.
that. That would kinda sour a deal possibly for a business or
Yeah.
renovation or something, then he would feel
Exactly.
like he stepped on,
Yeah, sure.
property he shouldn't have stepped on anyway,
Yeah.
so I think that's,
I appreciate it.
okay. Next, we need a motion to approve the renewal of a Class C beer permit and Sunday sales beverage for Casey's Marketing Company doing business as Casey's General Store number 51.
Move to approve, if everything's in order.
Yep.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? And we need a motion to approve the renewal of a Class E liquor license for Fairway Storage Incorporated doing business as Fairway Store number 703.
Everything's in order for that too.
Move we approve.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Under resolutions, we need a motion to approve the following proposed resolution number 2015-01. A resolution appointing city officials and representatives to various city boards and commissions and designating the official depositories for the city of Humboldt and specifying the maximum allowable deposits.
Just to reappoint several positions that have expired on a diverse set of boards, reauthorizes the use of Bank Iowa, US Bank, Northwest Bank, and IPATE as official depositories. And IPATE is, I'm gonna explain this better. than
Iowa
I do.
Public Agency Investment
go.
Trust.
Yeah,
It's where we run our
Okay.
credit card payments through.
I would-
IPATIS.
Yeah, I would fail that test of the acronym.
Move to approve.
Second.
All in favor? Excuse me. Roll call vote.
Goodell,
Aye.
Slater.
Aye.
Scholl,
Aye.
and Rusher.
Aye.
There are 2 vacancies on the Planning and Zoning Commission. Should people be interested?
Someone's interested, please let us know anyway.
We've had the one vacancy, I think, for a little over a year, so. If you know of anybody.
One buddy.
We can't serve on that, can we?
No.
No.
Has to be somebody who does not serve in any other elected capacity.
That's for planning and zoning.
Okay.
Next, we need a motion to approve the following proposed resolution number 2015-02. A resolution approving pay estimate number 4 from Sand Construction Supply Company of Humboldt, Iowa, in the amount of $138,829.71 for the Humboldt Municipal Airport Conventional Hangar Building Construction Project.
The building is insulated, it's nearing completion. Sounds like the helicopter's gonna be coming in early February, they got delayed a little bit. There's gonna be one change order that's probably gonna come in front of the council pretty soon here. They ran into an issue with the electrical service coming in. When it went in front of the state brought up an issue that apparently was not an issue in the previous hangars that have been constructed by CGA, but they felt that they needed to separate things out and have a disconnect and all this other requirements. So it's thrown a wrench in the works, so that'll come in front of you. It'll be grant eligible, so it would still be the 90-10 split, but it is a little bit of a headache, so.
Move we approve.
Second.
Roll call vote.
Slater.
Aye.
Scholl,
Aye.
Rusher.
Aye.
Goodell.
Aye.
Next, we need a motion to approve the following proposed resolution number 2015-03. A resolution approving the final assessment plat and schedule for the 2013-2014 water sewer service line repair assessment program and authorizing a certification of liens for those assessments not paid within 30 days of the first publication of notice to the Humboldt County Treasurer at a rate of 4% annually until paid in full.
This program has been in place for several years. It allows residential customers to spread out the cost of the service line repairs over several years as a voluntary assessment on their taxes. This year had a little over 19,000 assessments for repair work. Full service line replacement can be very expensive for customers and can be a crushing burden when the line fails. Some of the homes are, probably not worth much more than what they're gonna pay to repair some of these sewer lines, so spreading it out is very important. And there's just a lot of lines that are getting older. You got old clay lines that are collapsing, getting too many tree roots into them and whatnot. Every customer in Humboldt is responsible for the service line, both water and sewer, in its entirety from the point it leaves the city main till as it comes into the house.
Has it always been that way?
Yep.
Not always.
And that-
Back in the good old days, it was from the curb stop in.
I don't,
It is
I
from
can't
city
speak
main
that,
all
yeah.
the way, huh?
It's the point that it connects in.
Really? Huh. Curious.
So there's one on here, I think, that's close to 13,000. So that was, you know, when you factor 13,000 for replacement, that can be a very, very hard thing for somebody to come up with, so getting it out over 10 years.
No, this is.
So is this available to any resident that needs to replace a sewer line from the main end of their house or a water line from the main end of the house?
Correct.
Okay.
So, I know, one gentleman I talked to, and sometimes it's just, you know, you go down the rabbit hole sort of situation where, they find out their sewer's not working, they go to investigate it, they figure the line goes right in front of their house, and it actually goes 300 feet down to the west and then to the north, and then connects up to some old sewer, because it's an older area of town. We had one that found a septic tank that was connected to the sewer that was then connected to the service. I mean, there's, you know, you get underground and you find some crazy things.
Yeah.
And so, you just hope that, it's nice to have this offer to them, and I fully support of continuing it on.
Move to approve.
Just a nice.
Second.
Roll call vote.
Scholl,
Aye.
Rusher,
Aye.
Goodell,
Aye.
Slater.
And we need a motion to approve the following proposed resolution number 2015-04. A resolution approving pay estimate number 8 for Gopperson Smith Construction Company of Ida Grove, Iowa, in the amount of $72,042.05 for the Sumner Avenue Bridge Replacement Project.
Needless to say, not much is going on right now with this project. It's stalled out until weather starts to turn again. The crews will end up finishing out the false work and hope to complete the pour once the temperatures start to turn. You can see there's a gap in the false work there. They haven't got that done yet, so yeah, I guess it's kind of what they're trying to do is get it as soon as the weather turns, but hope that the ice doesn't break loose, because that can cause damage to the false work. And so, you know, all you need is the air temperature to get up, and hopefully the ice won't break loose at that point. So it's hard to find a good time for it. Just hope for early spring this year. So,
But it's gonna be really nice when it's done.
yes.
Oh, you gotta
Some
look at
year.
it. Oh, you gotta look at it.
I think Gloria will appreciate it.
You know, I would have hated to have thought that they were gonna try and pour that yet this year.
Yeah,
Because
I agree.
I think about the Highway 169 bridge they poured in the winter, and it breaks every year.
Yep.
They're fixing that. To this day, it still breaks.
They're still doing it. They were
Yeah.
out doing it the other day.
It's never been good since they poured that.
Move to approve.
Second.
Roll call vote.
Rusher,
Aye.
Goodell,
Aye.
Slater,
Aye.
Scholl.
Aye.
And we need a motion to approve the following proposed resolution number 2015-05. A resolution establishing a unifying law enforcement tax levy and confirming information and ballot provisions to be provided to the County Commissioner of Elections for the proposed election on the issue of establishing a unified law enforcement